every now and then I write something around the bass, but I tend to write more around the guitar, or I also play piano, so sometimes I sit down and I just work things out on the piano. And then I just do some scratch guitar tracks for the guys, lay down the harmonies, and I do a vocal track and try to kind of put everything in place, and then I MP3 it to the guys, and these guys are awesome. They put their own sound on it, they take it, they do their thing with it, and then it turns into a song.
No, that's great. How about you?
About me, where did I start?
Where did it start for you? What made you want to pick that guitar up?
Kiss Alive.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
It's actually a friend of my grandmother's. His son played guitar. And I just kind of met him through school, and circles of like, oh, your father's. Oh, you work with my grandmother over here, and it's like, so we actually knew each other better than we thought we did. But he played guitar, and I just saw it sitting in his room, and I thought, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. What is that? You can play that? And he would play a Cheap Trick song, he could play a Kiss song, he could play a Blue Oyster Cult riff. I thought, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And then he played me the Kiss Alive album, because I'm looking at it as, who the hell is this?
Wow. That was over.
And Parasite, Black Diamond, everything, and that just did me. And I wanted to, and that was it. So then I heard Judas Priest, and I had to get Judas Priest. And then on down the line, Iron Maiden, even Rush. And,
oh yeah.
Every single band that was out there, 70s and 80s, that had a great guitar playing, and it just filtered in. And then through the 80s, you had people like George Lynch and everybody else like that, and not so much very heavy bands, but just great guitar playing.
Right.
Like flashy stuff, like Warren DeMartini from Rat, even
Oh yeah.
made its way into my consciousness and everything.
Guido
like that.
Brada.
Yeah, so I started taking lessons when I was belonged to my parents for guitar for years and years and years. I was like, no. And finally, my grandmother bought me a guitar at a flea market, cheap little acoustic, and I learned how to play Cat Scratch Fever on it.
Cats.
Going my parents to go in with that, and then the following Christmas, Grandma got me an electric guitar and an amp, and that was it.
Awesome.
That was it for my parents and their peace of mind for the next 20 years.
Do you think the fact that they made you wait for it made you want it that much more?
Oh hell yeah! I couldn't stand wanting it. I had to have it. You know what I mean?
I gotta say something.
I worked a job under the table for a year, about total, before I could save every penny. Went out and bought another like real deal guitar, real deal amp, everything. Wheeled it all home, and my parents went, "You spent a year's worth of money on what?"
I gotta say something about John Risco, if I can say something for 2 seconds.
Are you gonna embarrass me or something?
I hope not. I tell you what, I met John Risco about 6 years ago, and met a bunch of great friends through John, through our tribute band. And John is, bar none, in the Valley area and beyond the Valley area, one of the best guitar players that I've ever met and worked with in my entire life. I'm honored to be in a band with him, and honored to have him in this project called Sinister Realm. It's gonna be fucking unbelievable, and he kicks ass.
Thank you.
He's the fucking man. That's it.
That's all.
I second that.
Yes. Right on.
Great lead,
Chris Metzger, put the fucking camera on him right now. This is the man right here.
Face the camera.
Who's the thunder, the fucking machine behind Sinister Realm. It's gonna be freaking unbelievable. I'm trying not to curse.
Thank
you. All right?
And you know, it's funny.
Love you guys.
When John was talking about, he went to his friends and saw the Kiss album. I was just, I don't even know how old I was at our friend's house in the basement. He had the first Kiss album sitting there, and I was just like, what in the world is that? I had to hear it, and that was it for me, man.
It's been that way for a lot of us, man. I wanted to be Ace myself.
Oh, I wanted to be Gene. I used to paint the face up. I used to blow fire. All that shit. Oh yeah.
Damn. I know you and I, Big John. You and I talked before about some of the early stuff that we listened to, like Saxon and everything.
Yes.
Oh yeah, great band.
But tell us a little bit about what got you into it too, man.
I don't know. Just growing up, my sister was like 8 years older than me, so she was into Black Sabbath and stuff like that. So I got into it at a very early age, 10 years old, whatever. I heard Black Sabbath and that. And then from then on, I started, where I grew up at, most of my friends, they were all metalheads. Pretty much that whole town I lived in. And these guys were, a few years older than me, and they would always find this metal. Now, this is before MTV, before, you had to go find this music. And you know what I mean? And so you go search in the record stores, you look for covers. Mostly the imports were your best buy. And we'd be finding bands left and right. You know, before these even, you know, I knew Iron Maiden before they made it huge. You know, I seen them at the Allentown Fairgrounds in '81 with Paul Di'Anno, and so I knew about them, you know, from day one. We were just up on it, and just a love of metal, and you know, so you know, obviously I wanted to play it and be a part of it, so that's what I did.
That's great, man. And it's still like that over there. People want product. People, you can find out stuff about bands. It's still mainstream, so it's, you know, I mean, unfortunately, but fortunately, that is our target market, you know, for bands like us. That, you know, you can walk down the street and the whole window of a shop in Munich say it's going to be plastered with posters of Man of War. Or, and you go in and you're going to find like, oh wow, I never knew this band had this album out, or God, this is out a month earlier than it's coming at home, and there's a physical product in here. You don't have to buy it online, so it's just, you know, as where you guys are with you know, your company that's promoting you there and your press is where we targeted ourselves for day one, because everything that we're listening to is coming out of Europe, whether it's, you know, Germany, Switzerland, Sweden, whatever, and you know, there's so many kinds of music, but this style of metal, or you know, true or classic metal, is still mainstream there and will not die. You know, people want products. They're like me, they want to read the freaking liner notes. It's like I have 3 songs you heard me, and here's stuff to check it out, so I know a little bit more about you, and I'm like, I gotta get a goddamn CD, I gotta read the siren. I mean, I gotta know everything about these guys. That's how it is.
That's great.
You know?
We did a 2-hour interview with Enash from KMFDM, and he was saying how hard it is for them to make it in Germany, because the metal is what's in pop, and they are the actual underground, and they're more popular here. I was shocked, because I pictured everything they did, you know, they're so whatever, dramatic.
Yeah, it's still like that
but
too.
It's
like
not. You guys are the Y1 too.
Like John was saying, I mean, we had nowhere, we had no MTV. You had, maybe you could like tune in some radio station somewhere on your FM dial.
There was some
you could get a show for an hour on Saturday night, like they used to have Metal Shop in Philly.
There was a college station. There was a college station up in Selinsgrove where I'm from, like the coal regions, and they would have metal. You know. And they would always play something new on cue, you know, and
that, again, that's why I'm here. That's why I support what you do here, because to me, it's like when I was coming up, there's not, you know, like this is, you know, although you want it to be, it's kind of like an underground thing. Like we used to have our own, you know.
Do you remember?
That's how it was in the beginning.
Who used to sit up all night and wait for that one Aussie video to be on MTV?
Oh my God, Headbangers Ball was when they played music on MTV. I was up fucking all night. Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
See, before that though, there wasn't on MTV. So if you wanted to see Kiss, you had to stay up late and watch Don Kirshner's Rock. Or Midnight Special. You know what I mean?
Our grandparents told us about that. We don't know about that, but that was good.
Well, see, if you weren't a year older than all of us, then
Remember when you could go see
25, baby.
You could go see a concert at the Spectrum for $15.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I saw Iron Maiden there for less
Iron
than
Maiden
that.
and Dio.
Stable Arena. Stable Arena.
I saw Iron Maiden because I didn't make it there in time. It was Iron Maiden UFO.
I just saw
UFO, that's even pretty. That's
somewhere in time tour. I think it might have been UFO.
I never seen
like that
Stable
Michael
Arena.
Schenker stuff.
I know people that saw Kiss at Ag Hall and the Roxy. And I even bought a tour book, I don't know, 2005 or whatever, Kiss tour. And they list every show they ever did, and the Roxy, Ag Hall, they're all, you know, they're in there, and I didn't know they
taking
were
off
that
their
$5
makeup.
or $8 ticket for that show.
That was like,
I mean, the minute they took off their makeup, that was that. I mean, it looked like Shelley Duvall.
Nah,
I mean,
it was what was it's a trend at the time they did, and they were kind of a dying breed, and actually they got better as players when they, you know.
They did.
And
they did.
When that wore out, they went back. So I mean, I don't know, it worked for them. You know, you kind of like, they wrote some really good music during those years. They really did, you know. I mean, look, Creatures of the Night was, I guess that was still makeup, but coming out of there, there was some really good stuff. I mean, Bruce Kulick did a lot of good stuff with him on guitar.
You can't beat those first 3 albums.
But that's it. There will never be anything like that again.
Shout out to Anthony Cordera. Is he watching tonight? I heard the Kiss fan call. They tried to open up for them, but they didn't make it. They picked a cover band instead.
Bob, do you remember the Kiss dog tags?
Yes.
I have it.
Yeah.
Kiss cards.
Still have it.
Yeah, I got all that
I
stuff.
have a buddy's got an autograph.
I think I bought one of those
Paul
rooms
Stanley
on
Kiss
Family
pinball
Jewels when you
machine
watch it. I know
basement.
I helped contribute to that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay,
yep.
guys, let's cut. Take a little break. Give you guys a smoke break, and then we're gonna go for questions from the audience with Dave, and then we'll have a wrap-up session at the end. Anything we forgot to ask.
Okay.
So we need to talk about the fact that you guys are winners of some awards, and also about that.
We're gonna play some more.
You're gonna play.
I wanna
some-
play some more.
some more.
We're gonna do a short audience, and then we're gonna play.
Nobody wants to hear us talk. We want to play.
I don't want to hear you talk.
Oh.
Cut over.
Let the music do the talking. Did Joe Perry say?
Yep. And then they actually, when Aerosmith
Then somebody
redid it,
else
they
won.
ruined it. Because it was better without Steven
Lick
Tyler.
it up.
I was trying to explain to
They lost
the
it.
kid.
I'm an old time Aerosmith fan.
Like, I think
I had all the
like
8 tracks
my
of
one
that
kid.
and anything.
The Rose Guns, Rose Guns. And I finally played rocks for him.
Rocks, that was the last 8 track that I got from
He
this.
goes, oh my
Sounds like you
God,
did
it made it
last
so
time.
clear.
Yeah. What do you
All
think?
he wanted
This
to
is
be was
why we
freaking
switched
Steven
networks.
Tyler.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
I'm like, bingo, LA Guns.
All they did was just reinvent the steel. That's
I
it.
love that Appetite for
How is
Destruction
it like
album. I was
us
trying
touring
to
East
explain
Coast
to
and
a
West
guy I
Coast
used
at
to
the
work
same
with.
time?
I saw this band, Guns N'
Say
Roses.
what?
What do they sound
Touring
like?
East Coast and
They
West Coast at
sound
the
like
same time.
A
Aerosmith.
lot. Yeah.
Like,
Before they
like an
stopped doing
Aerosmith, a
it.
couple other bands
Oh
in
my
there, but
Lord.
they've taken it, they've turned the amps
Oh,
up a
thank you.
little bit.
Tina, are we
more
all-
there.
Thank you.
Okay,
They've
let's
sped it
turn
up
it
a
Heavier
little
down.
than
bit.
Aerosmith,
There's still a
yeah.
groove there, but,
Yeah.
you know,
I can't.
Yep,
believe that.
absolutely.
and that's another thing, like that album, Appetite for Destruction.
Can't put it in
To
a...
me, the
Can't
best thing
loop
Guns
it.
N' Roses
What's
ever
wrong
did,
with
that they'll ever do. Never top
That's
that.
it.
Yeah.
That's kind of sucks for them that you'll never top your first album.
Right.
You know,
But Kiss was alive. I was the Kiss, the studio albums before
All right, well,
alive
we're
were
getting
like,
some behind the scenes
sounds really
coverage.
dry.
There's no
and-
questions from the audience.
Oh,
about
wait,
it.
I
wait,
that was good though, man. That was
Yeah,
good.
the songs are cool. The songs on a
Live are better than the album
Oh
tracks.
man, they really
Well, listen,
came
some of
alive.
the
you know?
obscure songs like
They were
Going Blind.
big and huge. I was like,
That is a cool song.
Great one.
Bop.
that did
And,
it, man.
you
You
know,
like
heard that.
Deuce and Strutter?
I heard Living After Midnight on the radio when I was
That's
reading
my
about
shit.
British
Hell's a
Steel.
great song.
And by the time when I got my electric guitar, I
But
got
watching you,
British Steel album.
Why not the cards? Because it's home for on YouTube.
Yes.
Good job, guys.
One of the best songs is
Nothing to lose is good.
Oh, you guys see it? Yeah.
If we don't get an IT person to come in and
Yes,
get his
sir.
computer out and take care of this,
Par-
I'll use my mobile.
Parasite.
yeah, Parasite.
So
Yeah,
freaking
that's
Let me work on
Paul
it.
Stanley, man, he came up with some cool riffs.
They wrote Parasite.
Oh, did he?
Parasite.